It's not clickbait. I've bought a new Caravan. Hello and welcome to Dover, my hometown of Dover. I thought I'd bring you here to Dover seafront for a little update. We've done a lot of videos up in the Hebrides, and before that in Scotland, and before that in Wales, and we've been in the Airstream UK Missouri, we've been in the Adria Twin campervan, and I thought it was about time to give you a little update. And of course the big news is I've bought a new Caravan. Huh? Now we're going to meet the new Caravan in a moment, but before we do, a lot of people have been asking, where's the Airstream? Where is your Airstream? And I thought I would give you a little update of what's happened. So the Airstream, my Airstream, Series 1 532, was in storage obviously while that wasn't meant to happen. So the Airstream, my Airstream, Series 1 532, as you will all probably remember, it was due to be refurbished in the autumn of last year, and then sadly I was let down by not one but two different companies who said they were going to do the work and then pulled the plug at the last minute. But never mind, I had the Airstream UK Missouri on loan, which was fantastic, and then of course we've had the Adria Twin, which again was just awesome. We collected my Airstream on the way down to Adria HQ and I towed it with the Twin, fantastic, and it was lovely to be back in my own space. It was really lovely. Hadn't been refurbished, but the great news is that the lovely people at Airstream Germany are going to do the refurb for me. Now what's interesting is that Airstream Germany is based in Limburg an der Lahn, and that is actually closer to Dover by road than it is to Carlisle. So of course, because we're down here in the southeastern corner, it can be sometimes easier to go that way over the channel and get things sorted over there, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my Airstream sorted by Airstream Germany. However, shortly after collecting the Airstream, I went to Millbrook Proving Ground as I was a driving judge for the Caravan and Motorhome Club Tow Car of the Year. And at Millbrook, we can take our caravans, we're not allowed to stay in them because of all the secret testing that goes on overnight, but I was leaving it there, and as you may know, Bailey Caravans kindly provide the caravans for the tow car testing, and Alco have an engineer on standby to make sure that the caravans and the chassis are all fit for purpose and they're not going to let us down while we're driving all these cars around Millbrook Proving Ground. It was while I was there that the chairman of the Caravan and Motorhome Club, Grenville, said, "Andrew, it looks like your Airstream is listing to one side." And it was listing to one side, so the Alco engineer, Nick, he had a look at it, and the bad news is it has a cracked axle mounting. So it was not fit for road use. How it happened, we don't know. It looks like it could have been potholed, or it could be a speed ramp. It could even be as far back as when I hit that speed ramp in the motorway service area all that time ago. So I'm just really lucky that that has been spotted before it caused an accident. As you can imagine, the Airstream had to be low loaded away from there. There was no way I could tow it in that state, and fortunately the lovely people at Bailey of Bristol said they would take it into their care, and they have. And the lovely people at Alco have managed to source me a new chassis, because of course they bought out BPW, and my Airstream Series 1 is on a BPW chassis, and hopefully that should be up and running again and mobile in about 4 weeks. So once we've got the Airstream back on the road, we'll then be able to take it to Germany to go and get this long awaited refurb. But while I'm here, I would just like to say a massive thank you to Bailey of Bristol, to Alco and to Airstream for all their support during this. They've been absolutely brilliant, and it's just been really lovely, all these companies working together for the greater good of the customer. So really, really grateful to Bailey, Airstream and Alco. So that's what's happened with the Airstream. Now of course you want to know what's my new Caravan, so I will take you over to my storage area and introduce you to Glynis. And this is Glynis. Glynis is a 1971 Sprite Alpine C I bought in a restored state from a lovely chap called Steve on the Isle of Sheppey in Kent. Before buying Glynis, I consulted with David Bird, the UK's #1 caravan historian, who told me that Glynis has an unladen weight of 597 kilograms and an MTPLM of 749 kilos. I'll link to David's Caravan Life Twitter feed in the description below. I was also really fortunate that a friend of mine, Sprite expert Gary Richardson, could send me a scan of the original 1971 Sprite brochure. So with an MTPLM of 749 kilos, I think we'll have no problems towing with the Navara. So let me show you around. Glynis has been renovated by Steve and is in tip-top shape. While the curtains have been replaced, the upholstery is original, but at nearly 50 years old, it is pretty lifeless and will need either replacing or refilling before any serious use. Dougal is very impressed. One thing that I am over the moon about is that Glynis comes with her original gas lights, and they work! So now I need to find some spare gas mantles. There are also a couple of Labcraft 12 volt fluorescent lights, but the light they give out is pretty nasty. Steve has installed mains electrics, so there is a double socket here with USBs, and there's a socket on the floor by the wardrobe. There's also a double socket under the main table at the rear. In the washroom is a freestanding toilet, and Steve has installed a drop-down sink. Over to the kitchen, and there is cold water only to the sink, delivered by a gloriously simple foot pump. Under the sink is a gas fridge which I am assured works, but it does need connecting up by a qualified engineer. The cooker is immaculate. So there you have it. I paid a little over £2,000 for Glynis in her current state, and I am very, very pleased. So there you go, that was Glynis. I hope you love Glynis as much as I do. Really, really excited. Got lots of plans for Glynis as well. Before we can actually use her, we're going to take her to my friend Trevor at Premier Caravans near Canterbury for a full safety check, because we've got the gas systems and the electrical systems that I'd like to have checked out before we stay in Glynis. And then we've got lots of plans for adventures with her as time goes on. Now, just to be clear, we have absolutely no plans whatsoever to sell the Airstream. Glynis is just, well, a fortuitous stopgap. It was going to be a bit of fun to show you how much fun you can have with a caravan that doesn't cost the earth. But as it happens, with the issue I've got with the cracked axle on the Airstream, it's actually been it's worked out really well to have Glynis to use in the meantime, as soon as we get those safety checks done by Premier Caravans. So of course there'll be more videos too about what we do with Glynis, about some of the renovations, some of the checking, and of course some of the fun we're going to have with her. So stick around for that. But for now, I hope you enjoyed this video. As ever, if you did, you know what to do, folks. Please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you don't already. It just leaves me to say, from Dougal and from me, from my glorious hometown of Dover, thanks for tuning in. There, you excited about Glidis, Dougal? Oh, he's wagging his tail. Oh, Dougal, come back and say goodbye. Because if you're wagging your tail, we can't say he never smiles.